Welcome to the CU2.0 podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the CU2.0 podcast with big new ideas about credit unions and conversations about innovative technology with credit union and fintech leaders. This podcast is brought to you by Quillo, the real-time loan syndication network for credit unions, and by your host, longtime credit union and financial technology journalist Robert McGarvey. And now, the CU2.0 podcast with Robert McGarvey.
Just when I thought credit card rewards initiatives were on the chopping block, here comes David Metz and Prizeout with an innovative twist on credit card rewards. And it's one that's already winning credit union applause. Proof of that is that on the show with Metz today is Sarah Vasey, Chief Operating Officer at Michigan-based United Financial Credit Union, an institution with around $350 million in assets. Sarah herself is a credit cards rewards beneficiary, and she tells us what she really likes about the Prizeout program. Think shoe money. Prizeout has been on the show multiple times, but that's because it keeps innovating new offerings that credit unions adopt. Here's a great episode from the library that also features Darlene Johnson of Suncoast. Link in the show notes. Listen up. Hey, David.
What's up, Robert? How's life treating you, man?
You're turning me into a failed prognosticator because for a couple of years now, I've been saying credit card rewards are going to go away, even though I'm a points junkie myself, and that's because interchange is going away. Now you come along and you have credit card rewards, so you're ruining me, man. People are going to say this guy knows nothing.
I'm just keeping you on your toes, man.
So how you doing this?
Well, do you want to talk now, or do you want to wait till we're rolling?
We're rolling, baby. We always roll. That's all my guests complain that I'm recording from the moment you're live, man.
Gotcha. But the overarching theme is rewards, right? We created rewards through gift cards. We created rewards through actions, and kind of the last frontier of rewards is credit card. And our credit unions and our CU2.0 would ask us like, can you help us with credit card rewards, right? A lot of it is kind of static, and a lot of them are actually not even behind online banking, right? So our team got together, we did lots and lots of roundtables with our credit union partners, and we came up with our version of rewards program. Really, it differentiates three reasons. One is it's because we're integrated with the core and online banking. All of it is behind online banking, because a lot of the reward providers allow you that credit unions use today, you actually have to leave the ecosystem. Sometimes you have to download a separate app, whether you're trying to get your cash back or redeem your points. That's a terrible experience. Number two is
I have one of those credit cards, and it absolutely sucks.
100%.
It's terrible. I have like a $25,000 credit limit. How much of that is available today? 25,000.
Yeah. And especially when credit unions are all about relationships with their member, right? And the moment you're making them leave your ecosystem, that's not a good situation. So that was easy. So that was step one. And again, because we're integrated with the Q2s and the Alchemies and the NCRs and the Lumens and all of them, it allowed us to be able to do that. So that was step one. Step two was a lot of them don't really have access to their data. And without that data, they really can't create reward programs that allow them to differentiate. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Some of our credit unions have large small business portfolios. So some of them create reward programs where you get 5% cash back if you swipe your credit card at a local business that also banks with the credit union, right? Or a lot of credit unions tend to be military focused. So if you swipe your credit card at a veteran-owned business, you get more rewards for that, right? So there's a lot of cool things just by having access to your data that you can create a program that really speaks to your membership. We all know that most credit unions come from SEGs, so they really can create a program that allows them to differentiate. And the last part, which we're super excited about, is we're allowing merchants to fund whole reward categories. So take I'll use an example like a DoorDash, right? So if DoorDash could sponsor a category, so every time your member swipes their card or using their card at a DoorDash would be funding the reward. So what that means is that members are probably getting more cash back than they would normally, and then the credit union's getting the entire interchange off that, making the program more profitable, right? So that's just one example. That's something we could do with a merchant. So we're really excited about those three pillars that really differentiate from pretty much everyone else.
What other big companies are participating in this besides DoorDash?
So because I think that our first product that we launched with gift cards, right? So, and with our gift cards, we have a lot of merchant relationships, pretty much all the top.
I mean, you have the big ones like Amazon, et cetera. I mean, it's
the Walmarts and Nikes and all of that stuff, right? So now using the same relationships, allowing them to really own categories within the credit cards. Again, God forbid that like something radically happens, like the 10% cap or something like that. Credit unions are not going to be able to fund their rewards programs, right? So they're going to have to look to
that's insane. That's ludicrous.
I agree, but you never know. But
well, we live in an insane world. Okay, I'll stipulate that. Yeah,
totally. But anyway, the long story short is like, allowing merchants to participate and fund cashback categories altogether, making it a much more better experience for the user and also making it more profitable for the credit union as well. So those three things are really what separate us.
Sarah, your turn. How big is your credit union?
We have about just shy of 22,000 members, assets like right around 345 million.
That's wonderful. I talked to so many credit unions that are over $1 billion. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of U.S. credit union land, but these are the ones who talk to me. And are you a small credit union?
I wouldn't say we're small. I would say we're pretty average.
Okay. I asked that because twice in the last couple of months, CEOs of billion-dollar institutions have referred to themselves as small credit unions. And I said, wait, guys, small is like 10 million, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
But now, so why did your credit union get involved with David and this cockamamie rewards plan?
Well, we didn't really have any sort of reward program for our members. We were always kind of looking into something maybe like debit card related, but with the whole like gift card cashback promo, we really loved that. We loved that it was integrated right into our app. And then we also loved the factor too that you could add the different action rewards to try to drive member engagement. So like if, maybe a member uses their debit card 15 times, or they sign up for e-statements, or they convert their checking account to an elite account, they're getting incented based on those actions. So that was tied into it. And then also there was the cashback pay, which is a separate app, but still allows our members to earn some extra rewards for their gift card purchases, or if they're shopping online. It just kind of like seamlessly like integrates our home banking right into the shopping experience and gives them cash back when they go to checkout. And then from there, it just made sense, since we were kind of rolling with all of those, when we rolled out our in-house credit card program. We needed a vendor for rewards. So it was nice to have already something in place with Prizeout, because, it allowed kind of like all things rewards to go through them. And then again, it kind of compiles all of those different components into, the members app, which they're very, comfortable with using already. So it made it easy for them. It was a good experience, and one less vendor for us.
Now, have you gotten any member feedback about the cashback?
Oh, yeah. We've had like Google reviews. Obviously the money savings is great. And so, yeah, we've had quite a few compliments coming in from our members via surveys or Google reviews.
What was the process of going live with this like for you?
Well, basically,
was it like root canal? Was it something that you do once and that's only under necessity?
I will say it was kind of like, so I have been with the credit union for about 25 years, but I'm in this operations position for just over a year and a half. So Prizeout was like kind of like my first project that was handed over to me. And so it was a great learning experience for me, we'll say. I learned a lot. It was overall, it was easy. I had, a great team behind me, like helping me along the way. But I wouldn't say it was root canal material. No, it was pretty easy.
Now, how much of the work did Prizeout do, and how much work did you have to do to get this thing live?
That's I mean, I can speak for myself. I'm sure Prizeout had to do a ton of work on their end as well. I know like we spent a lot of time preparing extracts. Like we have to send over different data points every day. Like I think there's like 5 or 6 extracts that go over to them on a daily basis so that, they can get our member information and kind of reward our members based off of that. So I feel like that was probably one of the most time consuming. And then on their end, I'm not sure how that whole experience worked on their end, but I can imagine it was probably a big project.
So, David,
Yeah,
how many credit unions do you have in your pipeline for this?
we have all of our credit unions that have been live for a few years. Many of them now are using us for their credit card rewards program because it makes sense, right? If you're using us for gift card and actions, really like, to have one cohesive rewards program, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because a lot of programs are super fragmented. And we've also earned the trust over the years. So, and a lot of them couldn't convert earlier because depending who's powering their rewards programs now, they're contractually obligated, right? Like their contract doesn't end until 2026 or something like that. So 2026 is pretty massive. We just went live with Redstone in Alabama. We just went live with Visions in New York as well. And then we have a huge 2026 pipeline of going live with credit card. But because we've already done the online banking integration, the core integrations, it becomes a lot easier. So that gives us a huge leg up. There's always going to be the data. And I'm sure Sarah knows this. And everyone knows like just because you get the data, also it becomes like hieroglyphics. You have to translate the data, right? Like to make sure, because it's coming from so many different sources. It could come from Snowflake, the core, the credit card provider itself, MX, something like that. So it's many different sources. So for us, it's not just getting the data, it's cleaning it and making sure that we can turn it into actionable things. But yeah, 2026 is going to be very busy for us, but I'm excited by it.
Now, are most of the rewards that you're offering companies that had involvements with you in other parts of this credit union work?
Yeah, what makes ours unique too is we don't deal in points. We only deal with cash back. The overwhelming feedback we got, and we did many roundtables and lots of studies, is that even when people do get points, almost most of them just convert it into cash back, right? And most of our credit unions, one of their number one goals is just transparency, right? Sometimes you need to have a PhD to figure out how many points. You're like, I've got 2 trillion points. Like, awesome, that's $1.25. You're like, what? And some of this, there's programs that people don't want like branded mugs or pens or mouse pads. They just want cash, right? Especially in these tough times, cash is the most flexible thing. So that's why we said we're only going to do cash back. We're not going to deal with the points game because that's ultimately what all of our information came back and said is that's really what members want.
I'll add to that real quick. I will say, like, also, like, when you click on that rewards platform, it's super user friendly. I mean, you have like your one, your total cash back that's sitting there. I like to call it shoe money. And so you have your cash back reward balance there, but then also it gives you a nice like detailed history of like, okay, I went to Applebee's and my dinner was $100 and I was getting 20% back. So I see a $20 credit. And then maybe below that, I saved a few bucks at Meijer when I checked out in groceries. And then after that, it would say like, December 2025 credit card rewards. So it's all nice and laid out so that members are like knowing like where their cash back is coming from.
Just in December, what were your cashback rewards on the credit card? Total number.
You know what? I don't have those numbers offhand. We just rolled out
No, yours, your own personal one.
oh, my own personal.
Oh,
I want to say it was like somewhere around maybe like $25.
cool.
Like
Cool.
that.
It's $25 you wouldn't have had otherwise. So,
Yeah, and I'll say it adds up, and I make it's kind of like a game to me. Whenever I go shopping, I'm like, I go into my offers and I'm like, okay, is this place I'm shopping at, are they in my offers? And what's the percentage back there? And then I'm like, oh no, well, let me check. I'm gonna check pay, because sometimes pay is a little bit different. So there's a couple different options. So it's kind of like a game to me, like how much money can I make back? So I do love it.
Robert, one thing I would add that's super interesting when we talk to a lot of credit unions is that even the ones that give cash back, a lot of them do it auto apply it to their checking account and they do it daily. And what we found out is that a lot of time the members don't even realize they're getting the cash back, right? And our whole philosophy is like, why have a rewards program if your members don't realize they're getting rewarded, right? I always use the example internally is you've ever been in like a bodega and there's a tip jar, right? Like, would you ever put money in it if the person's back to you? No, you want them to know that you're giving it to them. So it's really important that we make the balance very prominent. So every time they log on, they say, it's my credit union giving me this money, right? And it can add up. It's funny, Costco does this program where they only allow you to withdraw your cash back once a year. And they found it much more effective as opposed to getting like 87 cents every day. Like having a big balance and letting it grow and then withdrawing it at that point has more meaning, right? Because it's attached to something. It may be shoes for Sarah. It may be going out to dinner on a date night for somebody else, right? So I think that's an important aspect as well.
You're making a good point. I have a Chase Amazon card that's 5% back, Amazon and Whole Foods purchases. And in my case, that actually translates into a fair amount of money, but I'll see, oh, it's like $4 back. Okay, I'll take that off today's order from Amazon. $4. I mean, come on, man. That's not even a cup of coffee at Starbucks anymore. Now, over the course of the year is hundreds of dollars, but I don't think in terms of that. It's $2 here, $4 there, big deal.
Yeah, once it adds up and you can attach it to something, right, it becomes much more emotional and I think therefore more powerful.
Now, Sarah, why are you talking up this program? I mean, what's David doing for you?
Saving me money. Who doesn't like to save money? It's really, it's easy to use. It's right there in my face every day. Like when I'm in my app, like it's the first thing I see. Like I said, when I go shopping, it's like kind of like the number one thing that I go to. And it's just a no-brainer to use it. Like, why wouldn't you hop in there to see what your discounts could be or your cash back could be, and it's saving me a lot of money. I know it's saving our members a lot of money. I do think that it's really important to have obviously good training on the program as well, because in order for it to get to our members, our staff needs to be, very engaged with the product and use it themselves and believe in it. And that's how we're going to get, a higher engagement out of our membership.
Is your sense that affordability is a big issue among your members?
I think so. We have, I think, obviously we have a more middle class, low income designation type of members. And so I think anytime you can save, really all walks of life, right? Love to save money. So who doesn't want to put some more money back in their pocket? I know, like you had mentioned, $2 here, $4 there, it doesn't seem like a lot, but yeah, it really does add up. And for some people that's, it adds up to a lot. It might pay and it might pay a consumer's bill for them, 1 month or whatever. So it's just, I think when you use it the way it's intended to be used, you definitely can put a good chunk of change back in your pocket.
David, where did you do a pilot for this?
It's a good question. One of the values of when we created the QSO, I think you remember that, Robert.
Oh, I remember Darlene calling up everybody on the planet telling them they had to become a customer.
Darlene we love Suncoast. They are.
I would ask people, so why are you exploring this? They'd say, "Oh, Darlene kept calling me." And they all said that they like her. I mean, please don't misunderstand.
No. Darlene is amazing in many ways. So a lot of times, especially how the credit card program came to be, it was just lots of conversations with the QSO saying like, what can we build next? What can we do together? What are some of the problems you have? And just being dissatisfied with their current credit card rewards providers kept coming to the top. So we started building it with them, right? And the great thing is a lot of them are always willing to pilot with us, right? Because not that like they're taking a leap of faith, is that we've launched 3 products with them now, right? And every single launch has gone well. So we've earned that trust, right? So we've
Oh,
earned
sure.
the ability for credit unions to say, you know what, this isn't a pilot because we've already done this 3 times with you and you guys have never disappointed us, right? So I don't take that lightly. That's been earned over the last 3.5 years.
Is
And
there
we,
a fourth product in your pipeline?
yeah, so we have offers, which is buying gift cards behind online banking. We have Pay, which is the standalone app that just makes the use of gift cards easier. And then we have Actions, which is basically allowing credit unions to reward behaviors that they're trying to get their members to do. Like they want members to enroll in e-statements. They want them to set up direct deposits, right? They want to Sarah's point, make 15 or more swipes this month or whatever it might be. Again, it allows them to use their data in ways to incentivize members to become better members. So those are the 4 pillars that we have.
Now, what's your fee structure for this particular product?
We charge a SaaS fee that's just based on member size. And then we charge an activation fee. And our activation fee is use any one of our products. So if you use the gift card product, right, you're charged an activation fee that lasts the whole year. So if you use any other product, you don't get charged, right? So it's really engagement with the whole product. So as a credit union, the more your members engage with each product, the more value you're getting, right? But we're only charging on usage. If your member uses a product and they earn cash back, we charge you. If they don't, we don't. The more they use it, the more value you get. And that pricing structure we did in collaboration with our Q2 as well. What makes sense? What don't you like? We heard from all these gift credit card rewards programs. It's just like fees on fees, and they get these 96-page statements, and you need to like be a paid PhD in math to figure out like what you actually owe. So like all those hidden fees, was the number one thing. They just wanted transparency in pricing, and I think we achieved that with our pricing structure.
Would there be a credit union that you couldn't implement this with?
It's a good question. Well, if they're not using a core or an online banking that we're currently integrated with, we couldn't do it, right? And then if we were to integrate with that online banking or core, it would have to be worth it, right? Typically, it's the larger credit unions that pave the way. And then, if it's a Scimitar or it's a Alchemy or a Lumen, usually it's worth our while to integrate with one of those because one of the big credit unions want it. But at this point, we have probably 80% of the industry in terms of all the online banking for coverage. But that's probably the thing that would stop us.
Well, I mean, there are still credit unions with little tiny cores that have very little footprint.
Yeah, and then
And I'm not saying you should busy yourself because look, I mean, years ago I asked a guy who was very proud. He said he just implemented online mobile banking, and I said, "Oh, who's your vendor?" He told me, and I said, "Why are you using that garbage?" And he said, "Well, the one I wanted to use would have cost too much to get the integration.
Yeah.
And this one, it was the same core provider, their product. Oh, okay." So he got a good deal on. So yeah, sometimes necessity dictates.
Yeah, and the truth is there are definitely, like you said, there are 10 million asset credit unions out there, right? Where the CEO is also the teller and also the janitor, right? And, clearly, it wouldn't make sense for them.
Now, Sarah, how many of your members are using this?
Oh my gosh, I want to say it's in like the 300s maybe
How long has this been live?
since April, so not quite a year.
And what's your goal at the end of a year? How many do you want?
You know what? I don't know that we've actually set a number. Obviously, the more the merrier. But again, I really think that it boils down to really staff buy-in. And them when you come in to open up a new account, there's so much that you have to cover. So if our staff is using the product, I just feel like it's going to be obviously top of mind. They're going to be able to show them how to use it, kind of tell our members what it's done for them. And then when you can share those stories, that's where the buy-in happens. And so without a staff member kind of putting that into their presentation, it's going to be harder for a member to, I mean, some of them, yeah, they might read their emails, but very few I feel like do. So I just think that whole like new member experience and the onboarding, it's so important to kind of drop it right there and make sure that they're aware that we have it. That's, I think, really going to drive the engagement with it.
Sarah, you're totally right. The credit unions that do best are the ones the employees use it, because employees are also members. They're also part of the community, right?
Mhm.
So if they understand it, and everyone describes it differently, right? Like just, credit union in Palo Alto, California is different than one in Michigan, different in Florida, et cetera, right? Everyone's got different seg bases, right? So that's really important for us is if the employees understand it and love it, they then can be evangelists in their community. I'm glad that's
The CU 2.0 podcast.